From Fox 5 News, this is Good Day New York.
There's a new cell phone out. Shelly Palmer is here to talk about it. Shelly, new cell phone out. Not necessarily. Well, this is a big special phone, isn't it?
It is a big special phone. But before I say big special phone, I got to do something real quick.
What?
I'm holding up this box for the iPad 2, and I have to shout out TechServe, the guys who hooked us up with it last week.
TechServe on 14th Street?
TechServe on 23rd Street.
23rd Street, okay.
Yeah, down in Chelsea. They are the old reliable Mac store. But they cut the lines for me. They got me the iPad 2. And what did I do? I came on and I forgot to say, hey, TechServe, thanks so much. That's my shout out to those guys.
You cut people in line.
Well, I didn't cut people in line.
Because you're on television,
no,
you cut people in line.
they saved one for me. I had to buy it, but they saved one for me, and I thought that was really nice of them.
Head of the line privileges for the TV star.
No, I forgot to thank them. It was horrifying. It was horrifying.
I actually bought a laptop there in 2005. They're good people, and I still have it.
No, it's a great place. Matt Cohen, shout out, yeah. Okay, so here I am holding in my hand the very first true 4G handset. This is a Verizon HTC Thunderbolt. Now, if you look at it, you're going to go, wow, that looks a lot like the Sprint Evo.
Yeah,
yes, it does.
I'm underwhelmed so far. What's so special?
It looks like the AT&T Inspire, all true. However, and there's a big however, this is on Verizon's 4G network, and it is, for all intents and purposes, the fastest smartphone you can hold in your hand.
4G, that's
how fast
better.
Is that, really?
It is 6 to 10 times faster than any 3G device you'll hold in your hand.
In terms of what? What does that mean? Like internet access?
So, internet access, downloading stuff like a movie from the cloud. If you're going to have something from a remote server you want to pull down, this thing is going to do it at blindingly fast speeds. If you've got your calendar in Microsoft Exchange, like so many people do for Microsoft Office, where you've got your calendar, your contacts, and your email coming from Exchange, this is an instant experience.
What's better, that or the iPhone?
Oh, there's no contest. This blows the iPhone away.
Serious?
Every single feature you can imagine.
All the apps for the iPhone.
So there are over 300,000 iPhone apps, to be sure. How many of those 300,000 do you have? A dozen, 2 dozen. There are hundreds of thousands with an S apps for the Android phones. By the way, Android phones outnumber iPhones 2 to 1. There are over 33 million Android devices out there. There are only about 15 million iPhones. There are so many developers working for Android. For someone to say, oh, it's about the apps, they're just wrong. There are lots of apps. In fact, almost every app you could want is available for both phones. And truly, that would be the only one reason I could imagine saying, I want to have an iPhone.
The cachet. There's still cachet with the iPhone.
It's a fashion accessory, to be sure. But this phone is behind the curve, no matter how you look at it. This phone is by the way, this is the iPhone 4 from Verizon. It's on a great network, too. It's 3G, which makes it 6 to 10 times slower than the Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt has an 8-megapixel camera. You don't need to carry a camera with you. This thing takes a remarkable picture, and it truly has it literally is a camera replacement and video as well. And it's got a front-facing camera for chat, so you can actually do the kind of video chat you want to do.
And how fast?
And here's the coolest part about it.
What?
It comes with, I'm going to make people crazy, it comes with a little stand. And you can stand it up this way.
To watch your movie.
To watch your movie or to video chat.
Nice.
So it's kind of a crazy little device. It's just they thought it out very seriously.
You know what's really changing? We don't use these cell phones for phone calls much anymore. Times said yesterday, it's become rude, you know what I mean, to call somebody in the middle of the day without any prep, email, text, hey, can I call you? To call somebody out of the blue.
Do you actually call people without letting them know you're calling them?
This is what the Times said yesterday. Yeah, you have to, like in the middle of the day, hey, Rudy, nice to hear from you. We could catch up some other, I'm walking into a meeting with my boss. You got to text people ahead of time.
Truly, what a lot of people do now in business is they schedule phone calls and they schedule phone meetings. I don't think it's rude on a person-to-person level to call somebody.
Friends and family, close, yes.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
when you do business now, because people's time is so valuable, certainly a text message is faster than a phone call. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Why would you call to do that? It'll take you longer to call than to text. But certainly a lot of people have adopted this sort of new paradigm, which is let me schedule a phone call as if it were a meeting. And now that you can video chat, of course that's what you want to do.
So listen, how much does this cost?
This phone is $249 with a 2-year contract from Verizon. It's reasonably priced. And again, people are going to say, is it like the Sprint Evo or is it like the AT&T Inspire? And the answer is yes, very much so. There are slight differences, the front-facing camera being the big one and the fact that it's on the Verizon network. Do not be fooled. 4G is not 4G. Read the fine print. It's kind of an important thing to do. Another thing is today...
I'll tell you what, it's kind of big. I'll tell you that.
It's got
big
huge...
It's kind of heavy.
Yeah. All things are good. It's substantial in your hand, and it's got a big screen to deal with. Here's something we've got to talk about real quickly.
What?
AT&T announced that they are trying to merge with T-Mobile, a $39 billion merger.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. What's the big deal? How does that affect me?
It does affect everyone. First of all, that's going to make all the GSM phones AT&T. Because right now there were 2 carriers, so there was some competition, and it's going to make all the CDMA phones Verizon. And more importantly, it may take consumer prices up a little bit because there won't be pressure like there was when
less competition.
Less competition.
And sooner or later we'll have to break them up, just like we did in the early 80s.
Wow, wait a second. Is this just a break them up, build them up, break them up?
Right?
There's a song about that, isn't there?
That did happen, though.
It did happen. And you know what? Right now, justice and the government have to look at it and decide if they're going to make it happen or not, or let it happen or not. But it's just an interesting day in the phone business where you're talking. That would make AT&T by far the largest carrier.
Pretty soon we're going to stop calling these things phones, really, because the phone, is becoming the secondary function. Literally,
I'm holding this one for you right here, Greg. This is the AT&T Motorola Atrix. You should just hold that up and show it. The Atrix is like, I talked about it 2 weeks ago. That's literally a mini netbook computer you're holding in your hand. It's that good.
This one?
Yeah. So you have to make some choices in your life, right? But they're not phones anymore. You're holding a little computer, for sure.
That's very impressive. All right. Thank you, Shelly.
My pleasure.